Tēnā koutou katoa. Ka nui te mihi ki a koutou. No mai haere mai ki te huanui. Kautua kei tēnei ki te mihi atu ki a koutou ngā kanohi hu ki te huanui. Tēnā koutou katoa. No ko te rana ahau, engari, I tupu o e kihi kihi. Ko Diane toku ngā. Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. Greetings to you all and welcome to the University of Waikato Pathways College. This morning I stand to greet all of you who are new to the college. So greetings and welcome. Scotland is my ancestral land, but I was raised right here in Kihikihi. My name is Diane. Welcome, welcome, welcome to you all. My role in the college is Director of Studies, and I am really pleased to be welcoming you to this orientation event today. In Te Reo Māori, the college is called Te Huanui. Huanui is a track, road or path, and this is a metaphor for your journey towards your achieving your own academic, career and life goals. We're delighted that you have chosen to study with us, and we are here to help you achieve those goals. Your tutors and advisors are well trained and completely committed to supporting you in your journey to success. We have a lot to share with you today, and we have a team of people to make sure that we get through it all. We have Charlotte, Roxana and Melanie in front of you, but you're also going to hear from your tutors, and we have some past students to speak with you as well. You can see that we have left some time towards the end for questions. Please feel free to type any questions that you have as they occur to you during the presentation into the chat function of the Zoom bar at the bottom there. We'll do everything we can to respond to those questions today, and we'll look at some of them at the end of the presentation. There are no silly questions, so please feel free to ask whatever's on your mind. I'm now going to hand you over to Charlotte. Charlotte is the program leader responsible for the foundation programs that you are enrolled in. Thank you, Charlotte.
Thank you, Diane. So we have two foundation programs here in the college, the Certificate of University Preparation and the Certificate of Attainment in Foundation Studies. So CUP is designed for domestic students, whereas CAFS is designed for international students. CUP is a one trimester program, whereas CAFS is 1 to 2 trimesters, depending on your English capabilities and your academic background. So both programs provide a pathway into degree level study at a New Zealand university by giving students who do not initially meet the entry criteria the equivalent of university entrance. So domestic students and international students will be studying together in the program, so you will meet a wide variety of people during your time studying with us. In these foundation programs, you'll be introduced to a university learning environment, and you'll attend lectures, tutorials, workshops or labs, depending on the paper that you are enrolled in. I would now like to introduce you to the teaching team for this trimester. So firstly, I am the lecturer for Introduction to Study Skills. So the purpose of Study Skills is to support you to develop positive learning practices that will enhance your success at university. In this paper, we will look at effective learning strategies such as note-taking, goal-setting, planning and reflection. We will also learn about reading and writing at university in an academic context. It sounds like a bit of a boring paper, but I can assure you that we'll have a lot of fun throughout this trimester. I would now like to introduce you to Roxana, who will be teaching Introduction to Critical Thought and Expression.
So critical thought, you'll be introduced to critical thinking for a range of situations. So we'll look closely at our own perspectives and learn to identify arguments, assumptions, and flaws in other people's writing. And we're also going to look at current issues and events to draw on critical thinking skills. So next is Marlies.
Hi, so I'm Marlies, I'm teaching business, and I always say if you want to go get to the money, then you need to follow me. So I'm going to teach two papers, Bridging for Business and Bridging for Accounting. And if you really are interested in doing business studies, I really want to emphasize that you need to take both of these papers, because the whole goal of the semester is to introduce you to the 6 major areas of management. And if you take both of those papers, you will be introduced to accounting, finance and economics, as well as supply chain management. And then also in the other paper, in Bridging for Business, we will do strategic management, marketing, and a digital business. So very exciting, lots of different topics to cover, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in class.
I'm Sindhuja. I'll be your bridging physics teacher for the spring trimester. As we all know that the universe runs on some fundamental physical laws, and I'm excited to teach those physical laws to you, and I'll look forward to seeing you all next week.
I'm Kuma, and I will be teaching general science this trimester. This paper will teach you the fundamental ways of acquiring knowledge about nature, and will introduce you the key concept about 4 disciplines in science. So looking forward to see you.
Thank you, Kuma.
Back to Charlotte.
There is a few of our teaching team who can't be with us today, and they would also like to share with you some information about the papers that they teach.
Hello, I'm Anthony, and I am responsible for the Bridging Arts and Bridging Social Sciences papers in the Bridging programs. In the arts paper, we look at humans and storytelling. Why do humans keep going back to stories? What do stories do for us? Why do we keep engaging with them? Why do we keep telling them? Whether they are made up stories like you might see on TV or in the movies, or so-called true stories about history. In the social science paper, on the other hand, we look at humans and the way that groups of people behave. Why do they behave that way? How do we change people's behavior, if we can? Why is it that each group thinks that their way of doing things is the right way and tends to look down on the way that other groups do things? These are some of the things that we'll be talking about in the social sciences paper. So if you're enrolled in one or either of those 2 papers, you'll be seeing a lot of me over the semester, and I look forward to engaging with you either in arts or social sciences or both. See you next week.
Hello everyone, my name is Martin Gwengo. I teach the 2 mathematics papers here at Waikato Pathways College, Bridging Mathematics and Statistics and Bridging Calculus. Bridging Maths is for students who do not have a strong background in maths, while Bridging Calculus is for those who have a very strong background in mathematics. Either paper will, however, allow you to do mathematics paper university level, that is if you pass it. In the first 2 weeks, you have the chance to change from one paper to the other if you find it hard or easy. I will support you throughout this process and throughout this semester.
Hello everyone, my name is Geraldine Greenhouse and I teach English to international students, and I just want to tell you a little bit about the courses. So there are 2 courses, there's English 1 and there's English 2, and both courses aim to help you develop your reading strategies, build up your academic vocabulary, and practice paraphrasing and essay writing. We also do a lot of practice in oral communication, and you get the chance to design and deliver 2 oral presentations. I hope these skills will give you the foundation that you need to complete your foundation studies and your next step when you start your degree course. So I wish you all the best, and I hope to see you on campus soon. Bye.
I would now like to hand over to Roxy, who's going to is going to share a little bit about our blended and online learning environment.
So this semester or this trimester, you'll be taught by blended learning. And if you're new to blended learning, it's basically a concept that involves a combination of online and face-to-face teaching. So for this trimester, lectures will be recorded and available on Moodle. Your tutorials and labs will be face-to-face, but if there is a reason that you cannot attend face-to-face, please do let us know. And tests and most of your assessments will be online. So to ensure that you're successful in your blended online journey, there are a few things that you need to pay attention to so that you can be successful as you go through your courses. So the first one is your paper outlines, and it's really important that you read those. They are mapped to use throughout each of your courses, and they detail a lot of information about what your course involves. Managing your time. Time management involves being on time for scheduled classes, activities, managing multiple assessments within a similar time frame, and allowing plenty of time to ask questions and receive answers before a piece of work is due. But in order to manage your time properly, you need to minimize the distractions. So lots of students can identify things that prevent them from concentrating or participating in their studies. So we encourage you to try and remove these. For example, close any irrelevant tabs on your computer, leave your phone in another room or turn it off, or tell your family and friends that you're unavailable for the next few hours while you concentrate on your studies. In a blended learning environment, it's also really important to connect with your classmates. Get to know each other, ask each other for help, create study groups or develop social time where you can hang out together either face-to-face or virtually. But just know that it's important that you contact each other. Ask questions. Again, it's important that you ask questions when you require help or need further explanation. Utilize your face-to-face tutorials and workshops, but also online tools such as the Zoom chat function, Moodle messaging, or Moodle forums. And lastly, take breaks. It can be difficult to spend a lot of time in front of a screen, let alone concentrate on a subject or be present in a tutorial. It's really important that you take breaks and look after yourself. Another thing that's really important is to check that you have the required technology at home. So to be successful, you need to ensure that you have some, if not all, of the following. So a laptop, tablet, or desktop. If you have live sessions for your classes and you're using a laptop or tablet, make sure that you have your charger handy. If you're using a laptop or tablet, you should also make sure you have a built-in camera or microphone, or use a headset to minimize the surrounding noise. If you're using a desktop, you'll need to make sure you have a webcam, microphone, or headset just in case your teachers choose to use online live sessions. And most importantly, you'll need reliable broadband or internet connection. More information about Moodle can be found using this link, which you'll be able to explore later. And lastly from me, this infographic provides some detailed information about online etiquette should your teachers decide to use live sessions. So take some time to look through this and refer to it in future. Now I'm going to hand over to Melanie, who's going to take you through the expectations.
Kia ora te whānau. Hello family, my name is Melanie and I'm a student advisor that works with both international and domestic students in the CAFS and CUP programs. I'm the person you come to if you've got any questions or queries. And I am the one person problem solving shop. Every time I say that I cringe. So together we'll celebrate your successes and solve any challenges that might come your way. And I look forward to getting to know you over the coming weeks. So just as the staff is committed to ensuring that you achieve your goals, so there are some responsibilities you need to take on board. So attendance and participation are really important. Research has shown that students who attend, who participate and who submit assessment will pass. Your learning is not a passive activity. It's not something that's done to you. You must be involved in the process. You must be self-directed. I'll talk more about this in the next slide. But it means you have to take charge of your own learning. The university as a whole, that staff and students, is committed to academic integrity. This means that we must all act with honesty and act ethically in all of our dealings with the university and with each other. Integrity is linked to behaviour in class and on campus, and this includes, as Roxy discussed in the previous slide, online etiquette. If you click on the link for the code to the student conduct, it will explain to you the behaviours that the university expects and what might happen to a student that doesn't quite follow the conduct. Don't do it. Okay, workload. So this is your full-time job. You don't have two full-time jobs. You don't have full-time work and full-time study. You have to decide what's important to you, and we can tell you that it's your study. So your workload will consist of up to 17 hours of class a week, plus 20 hours of self-directed learning. So self-directed learning is such things as researching, reading, and any activities that you'll be asked to do by your lecturers. Each assessment is graded through the semester, and the grades for each assessment accrue or add together, and that gives you your final paper grade as per the grading scale, which is on the slide. We can discuss this further through the semester. Just a reminder that your timetable on My Waikato only shows lectures. So if your timetable does not show you 16 hours, then you're missing some classes. So don't just rely on that. But in study skills, I think in the first week, Charlotte will talk about constructing your own timetable, which will show you your classes, which start in week 2. So lectures next week, face-to-face classes week 2. Okay, turn the page. So this slide shows you some of the agencies or places on campus that you can get further support. The International Student Services Office can provide a range of support dealing with issues to do with visas and insurance. Anything that's going to help you have a successful time with us. Student learning support, that's a university-wide system that provides students with academic support in any learning area. We'd like you to come to us in the first instance because we are experts. Not saying they're not, but we are. Career services, they run workshops or drop-in sessions so you can get further help planning your future careers. And the student union, I think sometimes people don't actually, they think they're just there for parties, but they actually would advocate for you if you're having issues with tenancy, StudyLink, so they'll speak on your behalf with StudyLink as long as you're present. And even if you get into some strife with academic behaviour. So with accessibility, they are there to help anybody that has challenges that might impede their success. Okay, the map. So please spend some time trying to find where your classes are before you actually come to class. You lose valuable, you will miss out on valuable information if you arrive 10 minutes late. And if it was me, I wouldn't repeat it. That will be your punishment. So find your classroom. So if you click on that classrooms link, it will take you to that map. Once you know where your rooms are for week 2, just, do a reconnaissance. Take time to familiarise yourself with where your classes are located in the week before they start. So that will be next week. Okay, now we're going to vacate the premises and allow our student panel to come forward. So we'll start with Rebecca.
Hi, so I'm Rebecca. As it says on the slide, that I've already done my undergraduate studies and I'm now currently doing my postgraduate study. So something I'd learned from the CUP program that helped with my future studies I think the biggest one is, Charlotte said, study skills might sound boring, but it's actually super helpful. Referencing was a really big thing for me. So in postgraduate study now, I don't actually use EndNote or any of the software for referencing. I know how to do it all by myself, and that's because of CUP. I also found that the subject-based papers prepared me for first year. Study skills prepared me to tackle the assessments and the work that needed to be done, and critical thinking allowed me to think about new information, assess it, and be able to change my ideas and opinions based off new information. It sort of opened up the way I think about the world now. New advice, new student advice would have to be organised. So definitely invest in a wall planner and a diary and anything else that allows you to write down when your assessments are due. There's nothing worse than having assessments creep up out of nowhere and you're suddenly like, oh, I have 24 hours to study for a test with 50% of my grade. So yeah, definitely be organised, be on time. And as the staff have already said, make friends with people, like get to know who's in your classes, get to know your lecturers, get to know where the help is on campus, especially with things like student services in the library. They have an enormous variety of information and sources that can help you get through a lot of your study, and I think it's really useful to know where all of that is. And yeah, get to know people. It's important. Ask questions.
Yeah.
The only dumb question is the one not asked.
Yeah. Oh, well, I'm Joyita. I'm studying, I'm majoring in biology and psychology. Probably one of the biggest things that I took away from CUP, which was many years ago, was, like Rebecca said, the study skills paper and the critical thinking paper was like the foundation of what I went through with uni. Like, especially the critical thinking paper, it really opens up your mind. It really makes you question a lot of the information that's out there. I never thought to question where information was coming from. I just thought that once it was peer reviewed or written by scientists, that was that. I never questioned like the motives behind why this paper was written, who it was targeted to. These are sort of things that you will learn through through CUP, and I found really useful, especially as a science and psychology student. Some advice that I'll probably give out to potential new students: don't be afraid of failure. I started out as a biochemist, and I did so good in the general science paper in CUP, and then once I hit university, I found out I'm not that great at chemistry. So you need to be able to adapt and be flexible, and don't be afraid of failure. If you're going to fail, there are ways to get around it. So I dropped chemistry, and now I'm a biology student, and I added psychology into there. Now I'm in my final semester. So yeah, I just feel like don't be afraid to ask for help. That's what our lecturers are out there. You can email them. There's no need for you to sit there and, you know, stress when there are people out there who are willing to help you. So I just feel like if you're going to take anything away from that, it's just don't be afraid to ask for help. You know, you've got to open your mouth if you want to be fed. So open your mouth.
Well, hello guys, I'm Richard. I'm doing the Bachelor of Engineering with honors, major in electrical and electronic engineering. Well, in my opinion, what I learned from the class I like is attending all the lectures is very important and very useful for your future studies. Because in the CUPs, attendance is like worth 10% for each papers. It's not only a good mark to get, but also will stimulate good habits for you to attend all the workshops, all the lectures, and all the labs. Well, in your future studies, attending all the lectures is not compulsory. So from my experience, many students will be they stay at home, watch videos, but I don't think that's like very good habits for the studies. Well, that's in my opinion, attending all the lectures is very important. Well, my advice for the new students: be disciplined, because like in university, our life is full of the distractions. We might, when we study, we will be disturbed, and also cost us like lots of time. So I think that be organized, organize your timetable, your studies, and be disciplined.
Dorita, what would be your tip to new students?
Probably write your name on little bits of paper that you're given, because I probably did in the last couple of days. I left an important piece of paper in Melanie's office, and she knew it was mine because my name was on it. And I picked that up and cut was to write your name on everything, and your SHIN ID, because if it's important, then you'll be grateful to get that back.
So thank you very much, and we wish you all continued success.
Thank you.
So thank you for today.
No problem.
So this is your priorities. Download the Waikato Uni app. So I downloaded it after seeing Roxy had downloaded it, and there's heaps of stuff on there. One of the things that's on there is actually your student ID. So if you come to see me or you go anywhere, you need to have your ID number, because that's what we're going to ask you. What's your ID number? And then you sit there like, and then you fish around, look for your wallet. And so if you download the app, you'll have your ID number there plus everything else you need to know. As far as your student ID card is concerned, you do need to have that, because if you sit tests, especially once you leave us, you're going to need that. So as soon as you've supplied a photograph to the student centre, you'll be able to pick up your ID card. Then you'll be a professional student. Check your username and password. Like I said, find your classrooms using the map. Not all papers have textbooks, but definitely business, definitely critical thought, definitely the sciences. So yeah, most papers except study skills.
Don't worry, I'll still give you things to read.
Anything else I need to tell you? So like Roxy said, check your technology. If you've got issues with technology, please let me know as soon as possible, because we can sort out some things. Yep, I think that's about all. Me.
So now is the time where we will answer any questions that you have. Yeah.
So at the moment we haven't received any questions from anyone. So I assume that means that's because we've been so comprehensive in our information, we've left no stone unturned. If you have good question, thank you for asking. Where do you buy your textbooks? Can someone help with that?
For critical thought, there'll be a link on the Moodle page to the ebook. But there is a bookstore on campus on the first level of the student centre, and they will most likely stock all of your textbooks.
The other thing you can do is the library has copies of all the textbooks that we have chosen. So if it's taking you a while to get a textbook in terms of if one is not available, you can access the one at the library. There is a couple of papers that have ebooks, like Roxy has said. Physics has an ebook that you can access via the library as well. Oh, good question. When will papers be released in Moodle? That will be Monday, which is our first day of classes. And there'll be information on each Moodle page in terms of choosing the workshops that you are able to go to.
How do I reset my password? It's a good question.
There should be a reset password link on the University of Waikato website. If you have any difficulty, contact Melanie, who will help you to sort that out. Most of the time you need to go through ITS, but it's quite a quick process, so don't worry too much. Talk to Melanie, the one-stop shop for everything.
I might rue that.
And if you're not sure how to contact Melanie directly, then make contact with the Pathways College reception, and they'll make sure that you get through to the right person who can help with any of these.
And Jasmine, you need to supply a photograph to the student centre.
You can upload it to my Waikato as well.
I think we talked about that.
Oh, that's a question for you, Melanie. Is it worth waiting until I complete CUP before applying for further studies?
Sandro, that's an interesting question. Is it worth waiting until I complete CUP before applying for further studies? Well, we always recommend that our students, particularly come mid-semester, start applying for degree level study. I'm not really sure what you mean about that, but we can catch up about that shortly.
We do recommend that you start looking into what you want to do. As part of the study skills paper, we do start to look at degree planning, especially in the last couple of weeks. Then there is an interview that you need to attend at the end of the trimester with Melanie, and part of the purpose of that is to support you to enrol in your degree. So the best thing to do is keep an eye on the website, look at different degrees that you might want to do, but we will be following that up with you all close to the end of the trimester.
This is my last assignment is the 23rd of October. That sounds like a critical thought problem. Is that my finish date? Well, like Charlotte said, if you've got a transition interview, probably not. So just stick around for a few more days until you know.
So the last date technically of the course is the Friday of the second exam week. There are no exams for the CUP or CAS courses, but if you look on the University of Waikato website, that will be the last official day of classes. Or handing in different assessment items that might be due during that period.
So Tegan, that's interesting.
It'll show all of the tutorials, though, won't it?
Well, I wouldn't have thought that My Waikato would have had your tutorials on it.
Maybe it's changed.
Maybe it's changed. It didn't used to. So we will be talking about that in week 1 in study skills. Again, part of the thing that we do in week 1 is look at your timetable and encourage you to sign up for all of your workshops. After that, in study skills in your first workshop, we'll be putting together a timetable of the assessments that are due for you, depending on your papers for the trimester, but also your weekly schedule as well. So we'll work that out in week 1. Week 1 to 2, actually, because your first workshop is in week 2.
And I can take a look at your timetable, Tegan, and use it to you too.
So just to be really clear, there are no tutorials or workshops or labs in week 1 at all.
Yeah.
You're not expected to attend any of those in week 1, but there will be information on your Moodle and there will be your lectures on Moodle. So make sure that you're active and looking at what's going on, that you will not need to have any face-to-face tutorials, workshops or labs in week 1.
So as a former student, I actually liked week 1 best.
Is it because there's no
assessments due? So enjoy next week.
Yeah, it'll be fun. You'll find out all about your course, but there won't be any work due.
Thank you so much for your questions. It's been really helpful to see the things that you need to know. If there's anything that you haven't asked or that you think about after we've finished this event today, please make contact with us. We're really happy to talk to you about any of your questions or concerns. We're here to help explain to you what you need to do to make sure that you complete to the level that you need to for your ongoing studies. So please ask those questions and be reassured that you'll get a lot more information over the coming week or 2 as you get to know your tutors, and they'll be able to talk to you about that. So any further questions, we'll pick up afterwards and make sure that we cover in your first week or 2 of lectures, okay? So that's almost it for us today. We've put on to this presentation for you some useful links that we think that you might want to look at in your own time. If you go on to any of those links and have any questions, again, please just let us know. We're really happy to help. You'll notice at the bottom of this useful links list is a link that looks a little bit unusual because it's not a university link. That's just there because we're aware that you're whole people, and that means you'll be doing things in the evenings and weekends. And we just want you to know all about how to stay safe in New Zealand and as you go about your lives. That's what that one's for. So thank you very much for joining us today. We've enjoyed being able to talk to you, and we've had a bit of fun ourselves as we've got along with it. We know that you have choices as students, and we are so delighted that you have chosen to come and study with us. Thank you. We can't wait to meet you in person. So what we've done is we've arranged a bit of an event next week. It'll be on Wednesday afternoon, and we'd like to invite you all to come into the college and to meet with your tutors in person, and we'll be able to talk to you there about all kinds of things. We're even going to put on a little bit of food, so come meet your tutors and have something to eat. It's going to be wonderful. The college director will also be there to welcome you, and of course Melanie and all of our other support team will be around to help as well. So please come and see us if you can. Big thank you. See you later.